So welcome back. I did a lot of prefacing this video and the last video, so I guess if you want to hear me talk about how I'm embarrassed a little bit that Owl City is my favorite band, you can watch that. But I just wanted to really jump into this video right away and kind of just talk about why Cave In is one of my favorite songs. So I was thinking about it on Tuesday. Today's Friday because I was watching Stranger Things, and I didn't really like the season that much, but there's a speech that Hopper gives. He's like one of the main characters. He's a police chief, and he says, I have a bunch of notes here. I have to get these. Okay. So I might have to stop and look down at my notes once in a while. He says something at the end. I like the whole speech that he gives. He says something at the end that's like, I have the quote. He says, "Remember the hurt. The hurt is good. It means you're out of that cave." And so he was kind of talking about earlier how before he had 11 in his life, he was kind of stuck in a cave. And 11 helped him to be a person and feel things. And that made me think of one of my favorite songs. I guess it's my favorite. Owl City's my favorite musician, and so Cave In's one of my favorite songs, so I guess it's probably my favorite. Already 68 coins. I think one reason why I think it's a great song is because it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. I don't think the way that I interpret it is necessarily the way Adam Young, the writer, meant it to be interpreted. But that's one of the reasons why I think it's so great, because I interpret it the way I do, and I think it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of, I'll go through all the lyrics, and it'll all make sense. The metaphors and the analogies to how I interpret it. Sometimes I think when Adam writes a song, it can either be too literal, like some of his newer stuff I don't like as much because it's too just here's something that happened in my life and it's not really that interesting. So I don't really like the song that much, or he can be the other end with some of his older songs. It can be really kind of nonsensical and weird, and will be a good example of that. I can't really think of any right now. I guess I was kind of thinking of Yacht Club, which is, but I do really like that song, but mostly just for the lyrical and the I guess I tend to like the more nonsensical stuff than the more literal stuff. Wow. Whoops. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was going for the 100 coins. Oh. Whoops. I'm embarrassed. Okay, I'll just do it again. I think I should do this one. Let me just get my notes ready. Okay. yeah, I tend to like the more lyrical stuff. It's just fun to listen to, even if there's like I can't find any meaning in the lyrics. Like I like puns and and so Caven's like a perfect balance of like the puns and the meaning actually being real, or being able to be interpreted. So the way I interpret it is kind of similar to Hopper's note. It's like the cave, I guess more specifically for me, is just like not trying, and like my anxiety keeping me from trying things. And why did I do that again? Okay, I think probably I'll have to finish this episode and I'll get the star at the end. Sorry, I'm gonna stay focused. So I guess I've kind of talked about the main idea. I guess just I wanted to like maybe I know all the words, so I could just go through line by line and talk about how it makes sense with my interpretation of it. I guess the main idea is like what is a cave-in this analogy. I did that again, stupid. So yeah, the main point would be what's a cave-in and what does it mean to like leave the cave. He uses a lot of imagery of like driving on a road, and so driving on the road is the opposite of the cave-in. So either you're caved in or you're trying and you're driving. Ugh. So I guess the cave-in for me would be to like give in to my anxiety, and I think the ultimate cave-in would be just like depression and I guess suicide. That would be the ultimate cave-in. So I guess my favorite line would be if the bombs go off, the sun will still be shining, because you've heard it said that every mushroom cloud has a silver lining. I like that for a lot of reasons, and I will tell you them now. So one reason is he kind of does a hyperbole where he's like, so the saying is every cloud has a silver lining, but he's like, he doesn't want to like sugarcoat how terrible things can be. Like if you leave your cave, sometimes terrible things are gonna happen, like really horrible things, like people will die, like in Stranger Things. Spoiler alert. And like you'll get your heart ripped out, but it's not as bad as the cave. Nothing's as bad as the cave. The cave is the worst thing. the sun, even if there's an atom bomb that gets dropped on you, like the sun will still be shining the next day or whatever. And then he kind of, I like how he kind of keeps going back and forth, like, if the bombs go off, the sun will still be shining, every mushroom cloud has a silver lining. And then, so he's kind of like being upbeat there, like, terrible things will happen, but there's always a silver lining. And then the next line is, though I'm always undermining. And I like that pun, the undermining. Oh, I got the 100 coins, good. So he's saying, like, I think the way I interpret that is like, I'm really not perfect. Like, I know I'm saying like you should always be driving on this road and trying to leave your cave, but I don't always do that. I'm not a perfect person, and I'm like constantly undermining myself. Okay, I guess I'll exit because I have everything I need. Do you still keep the star? I think so. Oh. I finally got that eel to come out. So I guess I kind of went through that line. I like the imagery of like just you have your cave and like it's kind of when you leave the cave, it's not like a victory. Like you still have to travel on the road, and like the road is kind of endless. He never really talks about like the finish line of when you drive on the road. It's just kind of like the road is your life and you just drive on it your whole life and it never ends. I guess that's kind of a depressing way to put it, but it the only end is the cave in. Did I get this star? Oh no, the eel. I don't know how to get him to come out. So he has another line that I like, that's like a pun. It's riding a dirt bike down a turnpike takes its toll on me. So that's another line where he's like, a lot of the time driving on the road, it's like, it's not enjoyable. I guess that's why I like this song and this interpretation so much, is like, a lot of other people would just be like, you need to get out of the cave and everything will be great. But he never says that. He says, driving a dirt bike on a dirt bike takes its toll on me. Like, it's hard to do. And it's a struggle every day to leave the cave. But I don't know. Anything's better than the cave in. I already did the star. I'm sorry. I don't know how to get this guy to come out. I thought once he was out, but I'll do the red coins. There's another line that I like. Ooh, he came out. Who knows what gets him to come out, but shoot, I need air. The line after that is, I've had about enough of, quote, diamonds in the rough, because my backbone is paper thin. Get me out of this cavern or I'll cave in. It's, I guess what he I feel like he's saying there is, he considers himself sometimes, or he had considered himself like a diamond in the rough. Like, he stays in his cave and, okay, don't die, please don't die. Oh, there is air up here. Okay. And I felt like that a lot. Is like, sometimes I kind of like myself when I'm being by myself, and you kind of feel like a diamond in the rough. I don't know how else to explain it, but like, you feel good about yourself, like, for some reason, like when you're not being like sharing yourself with other people and like being vulnerable or whatever. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got it. Okay, I'm good. And he's kind of like, I've had enough of that. Like, I want to share myself. I want to be a part of the world. I don't want to be like buried in the rough. I want to be out of the rough. I want to like be a part of the world, and I don't want to be in my cave anymore. Again, that's just like my interpretation, but that seems it fits with the whole song and the whole theme that like I'm going for. Nope. We got time. We got plenty of time. Come on, Mario. And then he, come on. Okay. I've had just about enough of quote diamonds. And then he says, because my backbone is paper thin, which is kind of like, in regards to what I'm talking about, it's a bit of like a non sequitur, even though I still relate to that feeling of like, my backbone being paper thin and like not standing up for myself or whatever that is supposed to mean. I don't know if I have time. It's this one. Oh, I don't have time. Okay, so it's that one. I've got it. The other, probably the last thing I want to talk about is the helmet, which is another theme of the song that he keeps coming back to, like 3 or 4 times. He mentions like how he needs his helmet on. I think that's the first line. It is one of them. He's like, please take a long hard look through your textbook, because I'm history. When I strap my helmet on, I'll be long gone. Like, whoops. It's this one. I've got time. Come on. Okay, what? Ugh. Okay, I know what I did. And there's another line at the end where he's like, I'll keep my helmet on just in case my head caves in. I was thinking a lot about what this helmet is supposed to mean. Because originally it kind of seems to go against like the theme of like trying. It's like well, if you need a helmet to go out onto the road, aren't you kind of like holding back a little bit? Like you're not really letting go all the way. You still have your helmet. Finally. But I kind of... I guess I was thinking like there are times when I try and I kind of slide back and like I tell myself, see, you tried and something bad happened, so now you can't try anymore because more bad things will happen. So to me, the helmet is the thing that keeps you from having those thoughts. To be honest, I don't know if I've ever found what my helmet is, because I still do that, where like mostly like social things that I have to do, I fail, and then I tell myself like, see, that's why we don't do those kind of things, because we fail and we get embarrassed or we feel bad about ourselves. And I need a helmet to keep me from having those thoughts. Otherwise, it's like riding without a helmet. The helmet, without the helmet, I wouldn't go out on the road because it's not safe. I need the helmet. Does that make sense? Otherwise my thoughts will... I like how he says, I'll strap my helmet on in case my head caves in. So it's like, even when you go out into the world, you're not safe from the cave-in. Like, you can still have a cave-in when you're trying and when you're doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. So, and that kind of works a lot with the anxiety thing of like overthinking, overthinking things, and like my thoughts collapse or my framework snaps. It works well, I think, with just anxiety and how anxiety can paralyze you or whatever. What am I doing? I need to get on that boat. Like, the helmet isn't a crutch. It's a necessary part of being on the road. I guess it's hard for me for this analogy, just because I don't know what my helmet is. I don't really have one. But I think it makes sense. Like, I don't know what a helmet would be in my situation. I've never been able to figure that out. What? I guess I'll do the red coins. I think there's a star up there. Well, it's just one star at a time, one star at a time. Are there any other lines that I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about that first line, which is, please take a long hard look through your textbook, because I'm history. Is that a pun? if anybody's watching, you gotta help me with that one, because it's been bothering me. I don't understand, like, I guess a pun is anything that is when you do, so riding a dirt bike down a dirt bike always takes its toll on me. That's a pun, because taking a toll is a different meaning than a toll of like that you pay on a road. So it's two different meanings in the same word. So that's why it's a pun. But I'm history is like, I shouldn't be spending so much time on this, but saying like I'm history is kind of like it's like an idiom. It's like something you say. History kind of has a different meaning in that context, but not really. It still means like I'm gone, or history is something has happened. So it's kind of not. I guess I just wonder how you would call that. Is that a pun or not? I don't know. Did I do what I'm supposed to do? Where are the red coins? Oh. When I strap my helmet on, I'll be long gone, because I've been dying to leave. That's true. I do feel like I've been dying to leave. I'll ride the range and hide all my loose change in my bedroll. That doesn't really fit with what I'm saying in any way. But I do like the lyrics. I guess I don't want to read into that lyric too much. What is the loose change? The loose change is your ego, and the bedroll is your dad. I don't know. Get me out of this cavern and I'll cave in. The bombs go off, the souls will be shining. I have to sing the whole song in my head to remember the lyrics. Swallow a drop of gravel on blacktop because the road tastes like wintergreen. I guess that's just more imagery of driving on the road. The wind and the rain smell of oil and octane. I kind of like that imagery too, of like the wind and the rain smell of oil and octane mixed with stale gasoline. Like, to me, that's like, it's more of just like driving on the road can be unpleasant. And so that's just like, he's just giving you all the senses, like it can smell bad. So it's just another way of saying like driving on the road can be unpleasant. But yeah, again, like you still have to do it. I'll soak up the sound, try to sleep on the wet ground. I'll get 10 minutes, give or take. I just don't foresee myself getting drowsy. Okay, so that's the last line. I guess I'll try and interpret that one and then I'll be done. To me, that kind of sounds like he's taking a break from driving on the road, but he's still out of his cave. Because he's like sleeping on the wet ground. He's not driving anymore. That's a tough one. I guess I haven't really thought about that line that much. I'm missing a red coin. I'll get 10 minutes, give or take. I just don't foresee myself getting drowsy. So he's saying he's gonna take a break from driving, but it won't be long. That's a tough one. I don't know. Yes. Okay, we'll just get this. I just don't foresee myself getting drowsy when cold integrity keeps me wide awake. That's the important part. His integrity is keeping him from... I guess leaving the road is kind of just like a distraction, like something he has to do once in a while, but his integrity will keep him from staying there too long, and he wants to get back on the road. But like leaving the road and sleeping on the wet ground isn't as bad as going back to the cave. That's the worst thing. Tall mountain. I'll keep my helmet on just in case my head gives in, because my thoughts go. Tie my handlebars to the stars so I stay on track. And if my intentions stray, I'll rinse them away and I won't even look back. I kind of like that. That seems similar, like tie my handlebars to the stars. That's similar to the whole helmet thing of like, you need something to guide you on the path. Otherwise, your intentions will stray and you'll go back, maybe. So I kind of like that imagery a little bit better than the helmet. There we go. Okay. So, I guess that's it. I don't really know how to end it. I just really like that song. Maybe I should talk about other songs that I like. I'm always looking for stuff. That's the only song I've ever... The only Owl City song I think I've thought about that much. Like every line and how it fits with how I interpret it. But I think I can do that with the other songs too, that I like. Another song I really like is called On the Wing. But I don't really know what the meaning of that one is. I guess I haven't thought about it too much. It's kind of more of a romantic song, which is weird that I like it because I don't generally like that kind of stuff. But I do like that song a lot. Okay. Well, we should probably... How do you crawl? I feel weird ending it without getting a star. Mario, what are you doing? Oh, I can't get this one yet because I don't have the invisibility thing. And I don't remember how to get that. Or do I? I do. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's get it. I'm really kind of nervous about sharing this video. I mentioned in the last video, like, I've never shared any of my videos with anybody. And I had the idea to share this video maybe on the Owl City subreddit I don't know if I'll go through it with it, but kind of nervous about that. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I did a good job. Okay. See you tomorrow.